Welcome, chess enthusiasts, to our captivating world of strategy, tactics, and mind-bending battles on the 64 squares. I'm thrilled to have you join me here on our YouTube channel, where we explore the thrilling realm of chess. From brilliant combinations to nail-biting endgames, we'll delve into the depths of this timeless game and unravel its mysteries together. So, sit back, grab your favorite chess set, and let's embark on this exciting journey of intellect and competition. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's exciting chess game commentary. We have a thrilling encounter between Iquan_Nazir and Francoisman. Let's dive into the moves and strategies that unfolded on the board. 1. E4 E5. The game begins with the classic and popular opening move, 1. E4. Both players establish a strong presence in the center by advancing their central pawns. 2. Nf3 Nc6. White responds by developing the knight to f3, a common move in the opening to control the center and prepare for further development. Black mirrors the move with their knight, placing it on c6, adhering to the principles of opening development. 3. Bc4 d6. White decides to bring the bishop out to c4, aiming to control the center and potentially launch an attack on Black's position. Black responds with d6, solidifying their pawn structure and preparing to develop their remaining pieces. The Italian game is a popular chess opening that arises after the moves 1. E4 E5 2, Nf3 Nc6 3, Bc4. It is characterized by White's bishop developing to c4 and aiming to control the central d5 square. This opening has been played by numerous grandmasters and has a rich history dating back centuries. The Italian game offers dynamic and flexible play for both sides. It allows White to quickly develop their pieces, target the e5 pawn, and potentially launch an attack on the Black king side. Meanwhile, Black aims to solidify their position, maintain pawn equality, and counter any aggressive intentions from White. The Italian game often leads to rich tactical and strategic battles. Common continuations include Black's 3, Bc5, the Giuoco piano, and 3, Nf6, the two knights defense. These variations introduce diverse plans and ideas for both players. In summary, the Italian game is a classic opening that focuses on central control, rapid piece development, and potential attacking opportunities. Its historical significance and strategic depth make it a favorite choice among players of all levels. Continue to the game. 4. H3 QE7. White chooses to secure the g4 square and prevent any potential pin by playing h3. Black responds with QE7, aiming to support the e5 pawn and potentially prepare for castling. 5. D3 B6. White continues with a development move, bringing the pawn to d3, reinforcing the center and opening the way for the development of the light-squared bishop. Black follows suit by developing their bishop to e6, eyeing potential exchanges and exerting control over the central squares. 6. Nc3 bxc4. White opts for a pawn capture, exchanging the bishop on c4 for Black's bishop on e6. This decision can help in disrupting Black's pawn structure, but it also allows Black to bring out their knight and further develop their pieces. 7. Dxc4 Nf6. With the bishop exchange complete, White focuses on strengthening their position by doubling the pawns on the c-file. Black continues development, bringing their knight to f6, adding further support to their central pawn on e5. 8. Bg5 h6. White develops the bishop to g5, pinning the knight on f6 and exerting pressure on Black's position. In response, Black plays h6, breaking the pin and securing the g5 square for their pieces. 9. Bx f6 qx f6. White decides to capture Black's knight, aiming to disrupt Black's pawn structure and potentially weaken their position. Black recaptures with the queen, reinforcing control over the central squares and preparing for further development. 10. N5 qd8. White continues their aggressive play by advancing the knight to d5, attacking the pinned knight on f6 and putting pressure on Black's position. Black retreats their queen to d8, defending the attacked knight and keeping an eye on potential counterplay. 11. C3 f5. White plays c3, creating a solid foundation for the central pawns and preventing any potential intrusion by Black's pieces on the d4 square. Black responds by playing a5, preventing any potential White pawn advance on the b4 square. 12. QA4 QD7. white brings their queen to a4, eyeing potential threats along the a-file and exerting pressure on black's position. Black responds by playing qd7, connecting the rooks and preparing for potential piece coordination. 13. Ra6. White castles kingside, ensuring the safety of their king and preparing to bring the rook to the central d-file. Black makes a rook lift, bringing the rook to a6, potentially preparing for activity along the 6th rank. 14. Nh4, ne7. White brings the knight back to h4, aiming to reroute it to a more favorable square and potentially eyeing the g6 square. Black responds by exchanging knights on e7, simplifying the position and potentially relieving some pressure. 15. Nxc7 kd8. White sacrifices their knight with a brilliant move, Nxc7. Black is forced to take the knight with their king, and white gains a temporary material advantage. 16. Ne6 key8. White delivers another check with ne6. Black's king retreats to e8, avoiding further checks and aiming to regroup their pieces. 17. nc7 kd8. White continues the relentless checks, playing nc7 once again. Black's king returns to d8, and the checks seem to have resulted in a temporary repetition. 18. qxd7 kxd7. White decides to break the repetition and exchanges queens by playing qxd7. Black recaptures with their king, and the queens are off the board. 19. nxa6 grams 5. White captures black's pawn on a6 with their knight, nxa6, gaining a material advantage. Black plays g5, aiming to disrupt white's pawn structure and potentially open up lines of attack. 20. nf5 nxf5. White captures back the f5 pawn with their knight, nxf5, re-establishing material equality. 21. exf5 f6. White's capture on f5 with the knight is met by black's f6, securing their pawn structure and potentially preparing to consolidate their position. 22. nb8 kc7. White advances the knight to b8, kc7, aiming to create threats and potentially disrupt black's coordination. Black's king moves to c7, aiming for safety and regrouping. 23. b4 ax b4. White plays b4, opening lines and potentially creating weaknesses in black's pawn structure. Black responds by capturing the pawn on b4 with their a-file rook. 24. cx b4 b7. White recaptures with the pawn, cx b4, maintaining control over the center and potentially preparing for further piece activity. Black develops their bishop, b7, eyeing potential targets and potentially aiming for counterplay. 25. na6 bxa6. White offers a pawn sacrifice with na6, disrupting black's pawn structure and potentially creating weaknesses. Black accepts the sacrifice, capturing the knight with their a-pawn. 26. a4 kilobit 6. White advances the pawn to a4, potentially preparing to create passed pawns on the queen side. Black responds by playing kb6, connecting the rooks and preparing to potentially activate their king. 27. b5 ax b5. White pushes the pawn to b5, expanding their presence on the queen side and potentially creating further weaknesses in black's position. Black captures the pawn with their a-pawn, ax b5, aiming to open lines and potentially activate their rook. 28. ax b5 kc5. White captures back with their a-file rook, ax b5, maintaining their pawn majority on the queen side. Black advances their king to c5, potentially preparing to support their passed pawn. 29. rfc1 d5. White plays rfc1, centralizing the rook and preparing to support the pawn on c3. Black plays d5, aiming to open lines and potentially create counterplay in the center. 30. cxd5 kxd5. White captures black's pawn on d5 with their c3 pawn, exchanging and opening the center. Black recaptures with their king, maintaining a solid pawn structure. 31. b6 rb8. White advances the b-pawn to b6, creating a passed pawn and potentially aiming for promotion. Black plays rb8, defending against potential threats and preparing to potentially challenge white's passed pawn. 32. Road 1 kc5. White activates their rook with road 1, potentially preparing to infiltrate black's position. Black's king moves to c5, aiming for safety and potentially preparing for counterplay. 33. Rack 1 kxb6. White plays rc1, skewering black's king and bishop. Black's king captures the rook with kxb6, maintaining material equality. 34. rb1 car7. White plays rb1, deflecting black's king from the defense of the a6 pawn. Black's king moves to a7, defending the pawn and preparing to potentially challenge white's passed pawn. 35. Road 7 car 8. White plays road 7, skewering black's king and rook. Black's king moves to a8, breaking the skewer and defending the rook. 36. Ra 1 bar 3. White plays Ra 1, forcing black's king to move. Black's king retreats to b8, and white's rook captures the pawn on a6, winning material advantage. 37. Rx a3, 1, 0. White delivers a checkmate with their rook on a3, ending the game in a decisive victory. What an intense and strategic game we witnessed today. Both players showcased their tactical skills and positional understanding. In the end, it was Iquan_Nazir who emerged victorious with a well-executed checkmate. This game teaches us the importance of piece activity, central control, and tactical awareness. White's aggressive play, particularly with the knight sacrifices and exploiting black's weak pawn structure, paid off in the end. Meanwhile, black had to defend resourcefully but eventually succumbed to white's relentless pressure. From this game between Iquan_Nazir, White, and Francoisman, Black, we can learn several valuable lessons. Lessons 1. Central control. White's opening moves focused on occupying the center of the board with 1, e4 and 2, nf3. This strategic choice allowed White to establish a strong presence and gain control over crucial squares. Lessons 2. Piece development. Both players prioritized piece development in the opening phase. Black's decision to develop the knight to c6 and White's development of the bishop to c4 were sensible choices. Efficient piece development leads to improved mobility and flexibility. Lessons 3. Pawn structure. White's move 4, h3 aimed to prevent any potential pin of the knight on g4. While seemingly a small move, it helped White maintain a solid pawn structure. Awareness of potential weaknesses and proactive pawn play is essential. Lessons 4. Exploiting weaknesses. White skillfully exploited black's weakness on f6. The move 8, bg5 forced black to trade off their well-placed knight, resulting in doubled pawns and a weakened pawn structure around the black king. Lessons 5. King safety. White's aggressive play, particularly with the knight sacrifices, highlighted the importance of king safety. Black's king was left in the center, making it vulnerable to tactical blows and ultimately leading to its downfall. Lessons 6. Active piece play. White's knight on d5, move 10, and rook on d7, move 36, showcased the power of active piece play. Active pieces can put pressure on the opponent's position, create threats, and contribute to successful attacks. Lessons 7. Calculating tactics. The game featured several tactical moments, such as White's sacrifices on c7 and e6. These moves required precise calculation and assessment of resulting positions. Developing tactical vision and considering various possibilities are crucial skills for any chess player. Lessons 8. Endgame technique. In the final moves, White efficiently converted their material advantage into a winning position. The coordination of the rook and pawn on the queen side led to a decisive checkmate. Endgame skills, including pawn promotion and mating patterns, play a vital role in securing victories. Overall, this game teaches us the importance of central control, piece development, exploiting weaknesses, king safety, active piece play, tactical calculation, and endgame technique. Incorporating these principles into our own games can significantly improve our chess understanding and performance. As we conclude yet another exhilarating chess adventure, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you, our fantastic viewers. Your support and enthusiasm make this channel thrive and inspire us to bring you more thrilling chess content. If you've been inspired by the games we've explored today, or if you have a game of your own that you'd like us to analyze in a future video, don't hesitate to share it with us in the comments below. Together, let's continue to sharpen our skills, broaden our understanding of the game, and foster a vibrant chess community. Until next time, keep those minds sharp and those kings safe. Checkmate.